Hello Healy, and welcome to Something Edible.
You know, one thing that I can't get enough of are these community cookbooks. You know, you see these at fairs and community events, and you know they tell a nice history of the community and what people were cooking at a certain time. But the recipes, sometimes they need a little bit of help. But the idea is solid. They just need a little bit of help. And I found a recipe for pumpkin bars in this particular Knights of Columbus cookbook that really, it was a good candidate for the help. Let's just put it that way. And so I changed this recipe a little bit by adding things like olive oil and roasting the pumpkin myself. And we're finishing these particular pumpkin bars with a bourbon vanilla bean cream cheese frosting, which just really makes them pop. I mean, hey, you know, bourbon and vanilla, how bad could it be, right? So anyway, we're going to make these whole wheat pumpkin bars with a bourbon vanilla cream cheese frosting today. Let's grab the bowl and get started. All right, first out here we need to stage our dry ingredients. I've got 2 cups of whole white wheat flour here, 10 ounces by weight. I like to weigh this stuff out just to make doubly sure. And to that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. You do this ahead of time. We're going to whisk this together just a little bit, just to put those leaveners where they need to be. We're going to add 1 2/3 cups of brown sugar, or this could be 12 ounces by weight. I weighed this again, but if you do 1 2/3 cup, you're going to want to make sure that you pack it pretty good. To that, we're also going to add 1 cup of olive oil. Holy smoke, 1 cup. But no, this is all right. This is actually the refined olive oil. Don't use extra virgin here because it's going to be just too overwhelming in the final product. If you can't find refined olive oil, and you should be able to just buy the cheap stuff, then just use vegetable oil. It'll still be pretty good. Also to that, to begin with, we're going to add our pumpkin, and I've got 16 ounces of roasted pumpkin here. This is the homemade stuff. These are pumpkins that I did. But you can use canned if you want to. It'll still turn out pretty good. Just make sure you don't get the pie filling stuff, just plain pumpkin. So we're also going to add to that our salt as well to get that moving. And we'll need a teaspoon of salt. All right, into the mixer, medium speed, for 2 minutes. All right, that's 2 minutes. And the goal here is to make sure that pumpkin breaks down a little bit, because what you don't want is you don't want big honking chunks of pumpkin in there. A few bits here and there, that's all right, but we don't want the chunks. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And this stuff smells really good. I just ground this last night. If you can grind your cinnamon fresh, by all means do it. And then we're also going to add a teaspoon of ground ginger. And we're also going to add a half teaspoon of ground clove. These are pretty much what you get if you buy a can of pumpkin pie spice. I think they throw some mace in there too, but that's neither here nor there. This is enough to make it taste with all those flavors that you associate with pumpkin. Now I'm going to turn this on stir to begin with while I add 4 eggs. Again, this ain't health food, so I'm going to turn on stir for now. And then just integrate each egg as you go. The last one. So now that those are pretty much in there, we want to make sure that they're good and mixed. So I'm going to bump this up to medium, and we're going to go for another 2 minutes to help those eggs build up some lift here. All right, so that's about 2 minutes. We're going to bring this back down to stir, and now it's time to add our dry goods in, just by the spoonful. This is our whole white wheat flour and our 2 leaveners, the baking powder and the baking soda. And if you've never baked with whole white wheat, you got to try it. I mean, it bakes totally different than just plain old whole red wheat, which most of us are used to. I tend to like to use the red wheat for breads, but for quick breads and baked goods and stuff, you can easily, do 50-50 of this whole white wheat and all-purpose flour, and people probably won't even notice. And they're getting whole grain too, so that's a win. Not bad. Once around, I think, just to make sure that all the dry stuff's gone, and then we'll pan it up. Good enough. Let's put this stuff in a pan. Alright, so I got me a half sheet pan that I've sprayed with a little bit of cooking spray here. You can flour it if you want to. You're not going to release this from the pan. You're just going to serve it out of the pan. So frost it in the pan too. We're trying to make this easy. Think sheet cake here. Alright, we need to spread that evenly, and then we'll put it in the oven. Okay, so into our 350-degree oven. While we're waiting for that cake to bake, we're going to need some vanilla bean here for that frosting. So I'm going to cut the ends off of this vanilla bean. Put those into our vanilla sugar for later. And then I'm going to split this bean. And these are good beans, really. This is greasy as heck. We got some pulp, all that pulp we want in there. Just take the back side of your knife, scrape it out. That's exactly what we want right there. All right, my timer just went off, and hopefully I got a cake here, or pumpkin bars rather. It smells really good. If you test this, the toothpick should come out clean. Let's see how we're doing here. Anything that comes out a little uneven, you just cover it up with frosting. Yeah, we're good. We're totally good. I probably even could have gone a couple minutes less on that. It's starting to separate from the edges. What needs to happen here is this needs to cool while we make the frosting, because you want to be able to spread that. So we're going to let this cool, and we're going to head over to the mixer, and we're going to make some frosting. All right, we're ready to make this bourbon vanilla cream cheese frosting. We're going to start with a stick of butter. It's salted, so we don't have to add more salt to it this time. We're also going to add 3 ounces of light cream cheese. You could use full fat too, but I'm going to use light for this. And then we're also going to add 2 teaspoons of bourbon. I would say for this, if you like bourbon, the stronger the better. The stuff I'm using there is about 94 proof. And I'm also going to add my pulp from my vanilla beans into there too. We want that pulp good and mixed into what we're doing here. So, you notice I didn't add any powdered sugar to this yet. We got to get this whipped up first. And it's important to note here, cream cheese and butter, room temperature, maybe even a little higher than room temperature. We want that stuff to mix, and if it's soft, it'll mix. So medium speed with our wire whisk. We'll give that a few minutes. All right, this has been going for a couple of minutes now, and the color has changed quite a bit. I mean, we've got something that's light, and we've got something that's a little bit airy, and the texture is good too. this is ready to go on top of our pumpkin bars. Let's put this on there. Put a dollop of our cream cheese bourbon vanilla frosting on there, and I've got a offset spatula that I keep in a little bit of water so I can start to smooth this out. All right. Cut me a corner piece here. Oh yeah, we're good. All right, time to grab me a fork. All right, did my dishes, and this cake's cool enough. I'm gonna go ahead and try it here. This cake has a flavor that you wouldn't get if you didn't use the whole wheat flour. Now, scratch that, not cake, bar. We're talking about pumpkin bars here that just happen to look like cakes. So, yeah, you got this nice spicy bit underneath, and then on top you've got the cream cheese icing with just enough sweet in it. You can smell the bourbon, you can smell the vanilla. It's a win. I mean, ice cream, take it or leave it. You really don't. But you can if you cut these into bars and put them out on a plate, they're not going to last at all. Really good. So, if you want to try your hand at doing a whole wheat pumpkin bar like this with the bourbon vanilla cream cheese frosting, I mean, seriously, why wouldn't you want to try it? So you can get this recipe. You can download it from the Hayes Daily News' website, hdnews.net. You can also get it off of my website, somethingedible.com. I got an awesome picture of this sitting on Pinterest right now. Be sure to check me out there. And if you have any questions, you can look me up on Facebook or Twitter. So until next time, enjoy.